Shalom, shalom. First, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Machakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to Akim out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Okay? Just came from the gym. Let's do this quick lesson. Dealing with not falling out or being naive when it comes to women. Okay? You can't forget how powerful women are in the sense of having control over a man and his emotions. A woman is a very powerful thing. Okay? It even tells you that in First Ezra, okay, it speaks about it was Zerubbabel who said the wisest saying out of the two other men. Okay, he was the one with the wisest saying, and he said that the woman is stronger than wine and the king, right? Because one said wine, the other said the king. You know, and they had good reasonings, but Zerubbabel's reasoning was the best. His saying was the wisest of them all, because he said that women is stronger than wine and women is stronger than the king, because he said even the king, he saw that his concubine took the crown off of his head, put it on her own head, and slapped him in the face. Okay, and whenever she was angry with him, he would entreat of her. In other words, he would want to make her happy again. Okay, so that's the type of power that the woman has over the king. Even when you look at those ancient world kings, look at Xerxes, right? You couldn't be in the presence of Xerxes without being summoned. If you were in the presence of Xerxes without being summoned, you were put to death on the spot. You see what I'm saying? You see how serious it was, right? But you had women, right? For example, Esther, he was smitten by Esther. So Esther showed up there out of order, but she did that in the spirit. Okay, she did that in the spirit, and it took great courage for her to do that. All right? Because any other person would have been put to death. Okay? But that shows you what? The power that women have over men. Right? This is why they get more lenient sentences and things of this nature, because a man looks at a woman as something precious. Okay? Which a woman was created for us. Right? A man naturally desires a woman. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? But you have to understand women. Okay? You have to understand women. You have to understand what a woman is all about, man. Okay? The scriptures clearly tell you that her heart is what? Snares and nets. What is a snare and a net? A snare is a trap. A net is also a trap. Okay? You see? And it's placed in a position, a particular way to catch prey. Who is the prey? The prey are the men. Okay? The men are the prey. All right? So when these women, when you meet them, they're playing a role, and they're always thinking about how it could benefit them, how this relationship could benefit them. They're not thinking about how they could be a helpmeet unto you and how you could benefit her. I mean, how she could benefit you. No, she's thinking about how you could benefit her. That's in their mind, and they could easily. They're very good actors. Women are very great actors. Very good actors. Okay? They can act like they're in love. They can act like they care for you. They can act like that. They can act like they didn't, they never did anything wrong to you while they're committing adultery with multiple men. That's not uncommon. That's the norm. In this place, especially. But that was going on in the ancient world as well. The scriptures say that such is the way of an adulterous woman. She wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness. I mean, you could catch them in the act, and they'll act like you have a problem. Like, you did something wrong. You see many videos on it. Okay? You see many videos on it. You know, the dude is following her with the camera, and she's turning it back on him. Right? As if she didn't do anything wrong. See, so they're great actors. They're great hypocrites. All right? You understand? So it's not hard for her to act as if she loves you and cares for you and she'll never leave you. But if you don't understand women and you don't understand the climate of the society we're in, then you may be gullible to actually believe that. The truth of the matter is, man, the truth of the matter is, you don't have a wife. You get a woman, she's really not your wife. When she'll be your wife is really in the kingdom. Because the first man she laid with is truly her husband. That's according to the Bible. You lay down with a man, as long as he's still alive, that is your husband. Okay? And these women have laid down with multiple men. You see? Which means what? They've partially pair bonded with these multiple men. What does it mean to pair bond? It means to gain a connection with. Okay? It's pretty much a spiritual connection. But she done had so much spiritual connections that it's not strong anymore. It's worn out. So by the time she gets to you, it's not pure. It's not pure. Okay? It's not pure. And is there exceptions to the rule? Certain sincere women, that may be in the truth or whatever the case may be. Sure. But trust me, most likely the people that are watching this video, you don't have one of those. That's how rare it is. The scriptures say, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies, man. You understand what I'm saying? It said, who can find it? Does that mean that, you know what I'm saying? So what are the chances that you have that? You cannot be naive, brothers. You have to be sober-minded, man. And many have ran out of their wits, meaning they've put away logic and reason, okay, to follow behind women. Okay, brothers have left the truth behind women. Many brothers have left the truth behind a woman. And that's the same woman that'll be sleeping with his cousin, or you know what I'm saying? And do some foul shit like that. Right? Right? When you really need her, she's not with you. She's not in your corner. You lose your job. She's ready to look for the next branch to jump on. You understand? So you leaving the truth for something like that, well, that's your fault, man. You deserve to be destroyed. Because remember, women are fickle. Okay? There's even an ancient proverb saying a woman is a changeable and fickle thing. Go look up the ancient proverbs of women. Okay? I'm talking about the ancient one. I'm talking about the modern day BS, because that's all BS and lies and nonsense. Look up the ancient ones, like Plato and these philosophers and the things, Homer and the things they've said, which he was a comedian, but the things they've said about women, right? Which comedy, there's truth in comedy. The word comedy means food. It's food for thought. But they say it in a way that makes people laugh. All right? So at the end of the day, man, you have to understand they're changeable, man. Right? When someone is emotional, what does that mean? That means they're changeable. That means their feelings change from time to time. They could be with you one day, the next day they're not with you. They're just not feeling you. And they can't pinpoint why they're not feeling you. They're just not feeling you. The spark is not there anymore. Listen, man, that happens all the time. Especially in this day and age with Instagram and social media and things like that. Okay? And guess what? Yeah, the Western women are the worst. But them women outside of the West, they're westernized, man. The scriptures speak about the wine of Babylon, how she made all the world drunken, man. So all of these women have the same type of, they have a westernized mentality. one way or another. It may not be as strong as over here, but it's still there. It's still there. They're not like the ancient world women. And even the ancient world women were wicked. Even the ancient world women, you needed to have a hedge around them. What is a hedge? A hedge is a protection, something, a border to protect your garden, meaning you have to have a sure watch on them. And you don't have the power to have a sure watch on them, man. Okay? You understand what I'm saying to you? You don't have that power in this world to tell them to stay their ass at home. I mean, you could say it, but she didn't have to listen to you in this world. You see? Because she can get her own job. She can do this, she can do that, she can provide for herself, so to speak, in this society. Right? Why do we serve Yahweh Shai? We serve Yahweh Shai because we know that's our salvation. We know that that's our protection. We know that that's who provides for us, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. They don't look at you like that. Okay? And even if you do, and even if she leaves, it's gonna be a bad situation for her. In the back of her mind, she knows that this society always gives her an opportunity to do that. All right? Because they don't necessarily base their thinking on logic. They think about it on possibilities. They like to think of possibilities. You know, finding that perfect man. You know, the 6'5" with, you know, he's a thug, but then he's a corporate guy. Right? You see what I'm saying? He's masculine, but he's sensitive in certain ways. See, that's in their mind. They think they could find that type of guy because they're thinking about possibilities. They're not thinking about logic. They're not thinking logically how men think. You understand? So as long as that possibility is there, that they can find a man to, they could also find another man to provide for them, but that they can also that they can do it themselves. You're not looked at as salvation or a full-on protector. They're looking at the police as the protector. They're looking at the government as who's providing for them. Okay, so you have to understand that. And if men are not thinking that way, then you're not thinking soberly, man. You have to think logically. Okay, you have to think logically. And you don't, and that doesn't mean, you know, in other words, you don't love you're supposed to love your wife. Yes, the scriptures tell us that we're supposed to love our wife. And what is love? The keeping of the commandments. So you're supposed to do right unto her according to the commandments and according to the Spirit. Right? You understand? But you're not supposed to be in love. In love, that's for the kingdom. Being in love in this place, that's not going to work. First of all, their minds are all messed up. They're so bugged out and crazy that if you're in love with them, they start to lose interest with you. If you generally 100% love them like that, in that level where you're just enamored by her, they actually they love you less. They begin to hate you and despise you in their heart. This is how bugged out they are in this society. That's how their minds work in this society. Oh, not my woman. My woman's not like that. Okay, all right, buddy. Like I told you, man, they're great actors, man. Okay, they're great actors, and that's why a lot of these guys, they think they're with a woman that's been faithful to them, that's 100% in their corner, and then they go and take a DNA test, right? And they find out none of those kids are theirs, or 3 of the kids are not theirs. And they never knew. They never had it. There was never any signs. You know, she always smiled when I came home. She always showed me love and affection. But hold on, does not the scripture speak about the deceitful tongue? Does not the scripture speak about the strange woman whose mouth is a drop as a honeycomb, who's sweet, They speak those sweet words, man. They know how to speak sweet. It's in them. It's not that they're practicing to speak it. It's in them. It's in them to have their hearts as snares. And it's not like they're practicing to play this hot and cold game. They've been doing that hot and cold game since the ancient world, man. That's not new, the hot and cold. Women have been doing that from the ancient world, man. It's men that had to be hip to this stuff and be taught this stuff and learn how to really do this. Now they like, yo. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff is in them. Yeah, some things are taught to go further, but a lot of that stuff is already in them. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to think soberly, man. Okay? The kingdom of heaven is when you're gonna be fully in love, and that's when we can really let loose. Right now, you gotta play chess in this world. You gotta play chess in every aspect of life. Even with women, it's a game. It's a big chess game. It's chess. It's a war, if you will. Okay? All right? And if you let your guard down, you can get wounded, man. You can get wounded. So you gotta. And another thing, the woman is very similar to the Edomite, to the so-called white man. They're similar. Okay? They're actually very similar. Okay? The woman and Esau are very similar. Okay? You understand? That whole snares and nets, Esau's mind is based on snares and nets. Okay? Right? The lack of faith. Right? Going to the word of feminine, which means what? Which means whatchamacallit? Minus faith, feminine minus faith. Yeah, because a woman, when you look up the qualities of feminine, right, is someone who turns one of the definitions, characteristics rather, is someone who makes something, a small thing, into a big thing. And masculine is someone who is a man that makes big things into small things. In other words, he doesn't overreact because he has faith. Okay? He doesn't overreact. And that's when you get the word confident from too. Means what? With faith. Okay? So yeah, so that's, there's certain characteristics. There's the woman is very similar to the Edomite. Okay? All right? Very, very similar to the Edomite. I got to say, especially the so-called black one. All right? Very similar to the Edomite male. Okay? The so-called white man. Okay? So you have to think soberly when you're dealing with them. All right? Don't let them because they can use different reasons, right? Oh, well, you got to come pick up the kids more, right? And it might, listen, you might be going out to camp for years, right? And she doesn't have no problem. She knows you on Saturday, you do your thing. And then she'll do something. I don't know, man. She'll pick up like an extra shift at work on Saturday, knowing that you have to do what you got to do on Saturday. Now she's saying, "Oh, you got to take care of the kids." And that becomes a big thing, right? That's Satan working through her. You got to understand, Satan works through the woman. The serpent came to the woman. Okay, just something small like that. It seems innocent, right? Well, she picked up an extra shift, because she wanted to help pay more of the bills or whatever the case is, right? Right? So it seems innocent. She took up that extra shift. But now it's a big thing because, and she might be doing it at first while she's doing the shift. I'm just putting a scenario out there. This is just a random thing I'm thinking about, right? And she might be doing it, taking care of the kids while she, after she does the shift. But then it turns into, oh, well, you know what? I'm doing this shift and so on and so forth. So, you might have to go to the camp late. You got to start going to camp late because you got to take care of the kids a little bit, so I can relax a bit before I go to work, or whatever the scenario, or after I go to work, or after I come home from work, whatever. Right? So then it becomes to that. And then it graduates. Because Because how does Esau work? Esau works with gradualism. How is he bringing in the mark of the beast? He's bringing it in through gradualism. Guess what? The woman works through gradualism too. Okay? And then guess what? Before you know it, now you're coming an hour late to camp, whatever. And before you know it, she's trying to convince you to not go on Saturdays or whatever. And then you're convincing yourself, it's because of the kids, I got to take care of my kids. The scriptures say, don't take care of his kids. It's like an infidel. And wrong scenario. Doing the work of the Lord comes before your kids, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai comes before your family, comes before your kids, comes before your woman, comes before your mother, your father. That's why he said, he that hateth not his mother, father, and his own life also is not worthy of me. That's what it means by that. It doesn't mean that you throw away your wife, you go home and you beat up your woman because you hate her so much. No, that's not what it means. It means that you cannot put anything before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You see? And they'll cause you to do that, right? And then you'll convince yourself, and they'll help convince you that it's because you want to take care of your family. No. Oh my goodness gracious. It's because you want to take care of your family. You see? Or something along those lines, man. You can use your imagination. And then before you know it, you're not going out to camp and you think, oh yeah, you're doing the right thing because I have to take care of my kids. Guess what? If it comes down to that, guess what? You can leave. You can just go ahead and leave, man, and say, F it. Well, you can keep the kids. I'll pay child support, man. How about that? All right? Because they'll use that as a bargaining chip to play with your heart and your emotions. Guess what? If you leave the truth, guess what? Your kids are gonna die. You're gonna die, and your wife's gonna die anyway. You ever think about that? You ever thought about that? So what's the sense of leaving? So what's the sense of giving into what the hell she's talking about, man? You see what I'm saying? You better not. You better start using your head. You better start using common sense, man. All right? This is what I'm saying. Don't be naive and do not fall out of the truth for a woman. And that same woman will leave that same dude. And this dude done drop the plow because of that woman. You got to be sober in this day and age, man. Nothing wrong with thinking soberly, man, and being overcautious and really thinking about how the society is and how they really think, man, and using your brain, man. Okay. So, anyways, with that, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect, and I'll say shalom. Shalom to the sister on the comment board as well. Shalom to you, Akim. Shalom.